So I'm having a lot of people come to me and say, what do I do after I sign an ambassador up? So I thought we could talk about that and to help some people out.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, you know, the first thing that you want to do is contact them before they sign up. So I always have a text message I send out that leads them through what they're going to see. And the first thing they see is the welcome pack. And I like to really talk to them and tell them you need that welcome pack. And so, Tammy, I know that you're an encourager of the welcome packs. Why do you encourage that so much?
Well, the welcome pack is going to be approximately 30% below wholesale. We need to be a product of the product. And it gives them an opportunity to get into the products that one time and get themselves, get their family on it.
Right.
We can get testimonies from all of our family. If we're going to be ambassadors, we need to be products of the product. So definitely need to take advantage of the price and the opportunity to get products in your home.
Yeah, so I like people to know that's the first screen you're going to see is the welcome pack.
Yes.
And I like to encourage them to get that. And then after that, they're going to be on the auto ship. And I always like to talk to them before they go to that screen because it can be confusing. Because after you got through paying for the welcome pack and then you go to the screen where you set your auto ship up and they're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be charged twice. And so...
Right. So the auto ship is so important that they do get that turned on. So when someone's signing up, it's a great thing if you could do that with them in person or if you could be on the phone with them while they're doing it. If not, to send them an email letting them, explaining it to them in writing as so they can understand what that auto ship is all about. The auto ship itself is something that we must have turned on in order to be a qualified ambassador.
And I know Upline, Lori Harrison, she didn't have her auto ship on. And didn't get paid her first month. So that goes
guess who got the money?
Yeah, it goes up there. So in my text message that I send out to somebody that says I want to sign up, I go through and I tell them, you're going to get your welcome pack, and I encourage that. And then I say, but don't worry, the next screen is going to be your auto ship, and that's not going to be sent out to you till the end of the next month.
That is so important that they understand that that is not going to ship in the month that they sign up.
Right. And you know, if they sell 100 personal volume points or purchase their own 100 personal volume points, that won't send out to them, will it?
No, I've never received one of those shipments. Have you?
No, never.
I make my own orders. Now, some people who want to receive shipment monthly can do that, and you do that on the where you do the auto ship, and you're signing up.
So it's contingent or non-contingent is what you're looking at there.
So we want it to be non-contingent if you want to receive a monthly order.
Okay, so that's great. So non-contingent if you want your monthly order, and contingent if you sell 100 personal volume points and you don't want that to come out to you.
Yes.
And so, yeah, we like to lead them through that, and then they're an ambassador when they get through. Then they're
a qualified ambassador. One more comment I have to make on that is that your personal volume for your welcome pack, it's going to show in your personal volume in your back office that is not personal volume that you get paid commissions on. And so that's a confusing thing,
yes,
I think, the first month. People think that they're going to get a commission on that, and that is the only thing that ever runs through your back office that you don't get a commission on.
Right.
So if you bought a $100 welcome pack, it's going to say $100 in your personal volume, Kelly. So in order to get commission qualified, they're going to have to sell another $100. So that just needs to be explained to them in detail. So if you're signing up an ambassador, that's real important that you get that discussed. I probably didn't do a very good job at first because I think you thought you were better than what you were. Yes.
So just to recap that, your welcome pack is not included on your personal volume when you're meeting your goals there.
Yes, it does show in your back office, but you have to subtract it out.
Subtract that out. That's a good point to make. So, well, what do we tell people, Tammy, after they sign somebody up and they have their website? What's the first thing they need to do? What's the first thing you do?
The first thing that they need to do is contact their ambassador if they were not talking to them. And there are a few things that they need to do. One of them is they need to decide what their why is. Why did you become a Plexus Slim ambassador? And whatever your why is okay. Because my why and your why are two completely different things when we signed up. But that was okay. We're both able to be successful. Identify your why and share it with your upline.
Yes.
So I think that's a #1 thing to do.
You know, I was reading the other day in GoPro, and he talks about that, about the why. And see, there's going to be times in that ambassador's life when they're going to be down, and they're not going to feel like going to meetings, and they're not going to be on the opportunity calls, and they may not be returning your calls. He tells them in the very first meeting, I want to know your why. When you know the why, he says, now, when you're not showing up and when you're down, how do you want me to handle that? Do you want me to remind you of the why?
That's
good. So it puts them over into their court.
Gets it right out on the table. The next thing I would say to do is to make a list of people that you know. So start with 100 people. Just make a list of 100 people that you know. You know a lot more than 100 people, I promise.
Yeah.
You might think that sounds like a lot, but we all know lots of people. But I tell my ambassadors to go back and circle 20 of them.
I like that.
To go back and circle 20 people that you would feel comfortable contacting, that you would want to share this business with. So that gives them a place to start, to hone in on that, and to get started.
And so when they contact him, that can be through Facebook in messaging. It can be through a text message. It can be through email. It can be through a phone call. Right?
And there's probably not anything better than to go to your sister's house and to say, this is something I really think you need to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I did to Kelly. I went to her house and explained to her that I felt like this was something that on my heart, I wanted her to see her involved in this phenomenal opportunity. And so if you have people that's an option, I just don't think there's anything better than calling them and saying, can we meet for coffee? You know, go into their house. Do you have a few minutes where I've got something I want to share with you? If you have passion and you want to share it with someone, make an appointment with them. These first people are crucial. They're not all going to understand, but when they understand that you really have passion and you really want them involved, then you can get them involved with some information.
Right, right. Okay, so we're going to make our list of people. We're going to talk about our why. So what's some other things that they need to start putting out on Facebook, right?
They're going to have to share it with the world.
And it's really great when you get your whole family taking it and using those testimonies to be able to share the world what it's doing with you.
Absolutely. They're going to have to tell people, and once we're taking the products, we have testimonies in the beginning. Testimonies we used were somebody else's. My husband did lose weight, and we just talked about that a lot. We talked about how good he was feeling, and pretty soon people that we knew and loved had testimonies. If people you know and love will take this product, you'll have your own testimony.
Yeah. And then there's Plexus Slim Testimonials Only. So it's a Facebook group. I mean, I love that group.
I have spent hours upon hours reading testimonies, reading the comments. I was always very interested in the beginning about what products they were taking to get those results. And if I knew what Plexus was getting results with certain situations, when I ran across that and people were talking, then I would have that and be able to go back with that and share with them what I'd learned. I'd know where I could find that. Important to educate yourself.
You know what I like on that group is the search engine. So there's a little magnifying glass up there to the right, and you can click on that and say I was talking to somebody throughout the day and they said something about gout. Well, I wondered if there's any testimonies about gout out there. So I would go home and I would turn on Plexus Slim Testimonials Only on Facebook. I would click the magnifying glass and then I would type in gout. And so any testimony that it's helped with gout pops up, and I read through them, educate myself, and I might even personal message them that testimony and tell them, look what I've read about gout, and you know.
So it's real important that we educate our ambassadors on how to find this information.
Yes.
It's real important that they take the initiative to find this information. It's real important that they stay in contact with their upline. I know that if my ambassadors didn't ask me questions, how would I have learned? So that's a great thing for us to do, to be a team, for us all to learn and grow. Questions challenge us. Still today, people ask me questions, and it challenges me to find the answer and to become a better ambassador and leader.
So we're going to add them to those groups, those Facebook groups. When I sign somebody up, one of the first things I'm going to do is add them to our group, Freedom with Plexus. And you know, the files on that group have so much information that we have spent hours and hours researching, and other people have, that we put in the files on the Freedom group.
Yes.
So we're going to add them to Freedom, and then we're going to add them to Plexus Slim Testimonials Only.
Yes.
And is there any other one that right off the bat you add to?
There are lots of Facebook groups.
But we don't want to overwhelm them at the very first. We want to get them on there eventually, but at first, get them on Freedom and then get them on the Plexus Slim Testimonials Only. And then I always like to tell them to go to their back office and make sure they know how to do that.
Absolutely.
And read through the resources.
That is great. What you said is don't put too much on people. Put a doable amount of information on them, resources in the back office. If you're an ambassador and you've been an ambassador for a month, 6 months, or a year, it's still a great place to go and to read through, and it's going to freshen you up. You may not remember everything that you read, but you'll know where to go to find that information. It's very valuable. If you've never been there, you need to go there.
And so, say if there's an advanced ambassador watching this and they want to go the next step up, one thing I might say is go to YouTube and listen to Sonia Dudley's presentation.
There are several.
And so Sonia Dudley, Sarah Marble, Dave Brown talks about, he was a formulator of Plexus Slim. So there's 3 YouTube videos, people that do videos that I would say watch those.
Right, and so if you sign someone up, let's share those videos with them. Let's don't make them go look for them at first. These are videos that I found, and then teach them how to go to YouTube and find those YouTube videos.
So what about this? What about getting a planner? And what about signing somebody up and adding them to Freedom, adding them to the Plexus Slim Testimonials Only, encourage them to go to the back office, and then in your planner, a week later, touching base with them and see if they're ready to do the advance. So,
I think that's a great point. Planners I know my thoughts are everywhere, and if I don't have it written down, then it'll
so I
get
just
by
ordered me a planner, and I want to suggest to everybody listen to this to get organized and get you a planner, and let's put it down on paper.
I think that's great. And the last thing maybe that I want to mention in this is to be a leader. If you're going to be an ambassador, if you have no ambassadors underneath you, but you plan to have, prepare to be a leader. If you have one ambassador underneath you, be a leader. A leader like you had 100 or 1,000. That in order to be successful in this business, you're going to have to lead.
Yeah. So if you don't feel like you're a natural born leader, then you can train yourself up to be one. If you feel like you are, I mean, we still need to grow. We never stop learning.
That is absolutely
right.
And
GoPro real quick. Make sure you read GoPro. Make sure that Go for No, that's a good one. And Sarah Robbins, Rockstar Recruiting, that's another great.
Yes, all great books. And there are many, many books that are great. And if you're going to be in the network marketing business, let's learn about it.
Yep, going to be a professional.
It's going to help you to be a professional, to be more successful. We can all grow. No matter what level you're on, you want to grow and be all that you can be.
The last thing is that we didn't mention is when you sign somebody up, if you're on Freedom or whatever training group that you're on, I encourage you to go there and tag them and welcome them and draw them to that group so everybody can say welcome and they can feel good about that. And then when they turn silver, which we know that's 3 qualified ambassadors, let's congratulate them. So make sure you welcome, you tag them to great information that is posted on these groups. I encourage you to be on Freedom every single day. You're missing out if you don't take a little bit of time there and get on there. Tag your ambassadors to good stuff. Welcome them. Congratulate them when they move up in rank.
So what you just said sparked to me it really doesn't matter what you've done that's been successful. It matters that you're duplicatable. So be duplicatable. Do the things that you want them to do for their ambassadors. So welcoming them to the Freedom Group is a great thing, but don't just welcome them. Tag them to some really good posts that's going to get them started. And I think a week later or a couple of days later, tag them to a few more. But don't tag them to 100 the first day. That's going to be a little much.
Right. And that planner is going to come in there because it's going to spark
Absolutely. I love the planner. It's the beginning of a new year. Let's get organized.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.